guys, it's Matt with Tips for Truckers over here at the world's largest truck stop, and it got me thinking of how the trucking industry has changed since I first started. Now, I've been trucking about 14 years now, 13 years, and boy has it changed. Some for the good, some for bad, and I'll tell you coming up. Let's start with the bad. I've heard this so many times when I first started trucking, and I didn't believe it when people would talk about the good old days of trucking when everybody would work together and all that. And I just never seen it. I was never around trucks as a child all that much. But I'll tell you what, just in this 10, 13 years I've been driving, I could tell you 100% that is true. I don't want to sound like all nostalgic or anything, because trucking has improved also in a lot of ways. Now, the number one way that the trucking industry has improved is pay and how the driver's treated. Now, you guys are gonna hate me and argue with me about that, but it's just the facts. When I first started trucking, the average pay was about 32 cents a mile. That was just normal. 35 cents was out of this world. And people would make about $50,000, $60,000 a year on a good year. Most closer to 40. Now, the industry standard, I understand it's been 13 years. We've had, 50% inflation since then. Well, wages have gone up almost 100% in the trucking industry. It's not unheard of to make six figures, 100,000. Now, you're not going to make well into the six figures, but you can make 80, 90,000 easy when you first start trucking. Well, not when you first start, but eventually as a trucker. On top of the pay, the way dispatch is treating you, the way these big companies are treating you, they learn that you can't just treat a driver just like a number. You got to treat them like a person. I've been seeing that over the past several years, really. And I understand a lot of guys are going to argue with me on that one, but it's just true. Maybe it's because I'm biased because I work for a smaller company, but I've seen it with a lot of these big companies. These companies have more driver managers per driver, this and that, and they're learning you can't just communicate on the Qualcomm like when I first started, and you got to pick up the phone and talk to them sometimes. A lot of the brokers are kind of being phased out of the industry. When I first started, everything was a brokered load. Now you got a lot of these companies hauling their own freight and everything. And so you got less middlemen. And there's all kind of things that the driver doesn't have to deal with. But the trucks are more comfortable. The truck stops are more adequate. Speaking of truck stops, like I said, I'm here at the world's largest truck stop. And truck stops used to be junk. They used to be filthy. They used to attract the worst kind of people. And I notice in truck stops, a lot of times they're putting up fences. They're cracking down on the undesirables, the beggars, lot lizards, what have you. And they're, as you can see, these guys are coming around, picking up trash much more frequently than they used to, I notice, at truck stops. And speaking of truck stops, this is the world's largest truck stop. When I first started, it had 400 spots. Now it has 900. But that's not an anomaly. I see Love's truck stops being popped up all over the place. Now you can argue with me and say, oh, Love's truck stops are junk, but at least it's a place to park. At least it's a place to park and a place to get something to eat and take a shower and all that. And it's a lot better than parking on an on-ramp. I remember when I first started, parking on an on-ramp was just the normal thing. Now I rarely see it. Now that might be because people are cracking down on it, but also I've just seen at least twice as many truck stops as when I first started, I'd have to say.
Now, I just wanted to say, as an aside, on top of the truck stops, the shippers and receivers are getting a lot more adequate. It wouldn't be an anomaly to see a shipper or receiver where they didn't even have a bathroom, and the drivers just started refusing to go there. And now they provided us with at least a bathroom and a lot of times a driver's lounge or other facilities just because we simply stopped refusing to go there.
But let's get to the bad, the juicy stuff that you want to hear. When I first started, yeah, truck stops were dirtier. Yes, there was a lot more undesirables and all that. But also, the drivers would kind of help each other out. Now, it wasn't like, oh, you break down on the side of the road, someone to help you out right there, and there'd be 20 trucks or whatever there to help you. But at least if you're working on your truck at the truck stop or something, someone will walk by, hey, do you need a tool? I've got a million stories when I first started trucking. If you needed a pop start, someone will hook a chain and pop start you, pull you out. Just all kind of different stories. I can't even name them right now. But it used to be a common occurrence. Now, like I said, people wouldn't drop everything and everybody would help you. But it definitely was a lot more brotherhood, whatever you want to call it. Also attribute that to smartphones and Facebook and YouTube and social media and all that, because I told you earlier, a lot of these more truck stops are popping up, but they found it a lot more economical to not get rid of their driver's lounges. We used to have TV rooms in every single truck stop almost, and drivers would just sit down and talk with each other. Well, everybody's in their truck now because they can be entertained by their big screen TV or their smartphone, Facebook, YouTube, or whatnot. You go inside here, this truck stop, and 90% of the people are not drivers. They're just four-wheelers. Look at everybody here in the four-wheeler parking lot. I guarantee you most of the truck drivers are in their trucks. Probably won't even go inside, to be honest with you. So I think that, and also scammers, being there if you broke down and someone you offer to help someone and they'd scam you or steal your truck or something along those lines. It got to be really prevalent, and I think that's one thing that really killed it. Among the other things, social media, taking away the driver's lounges, taking away the restaurants and everything. Now we all got fast food. But like I said, everybody just stays in their truck now. Do I think the trucking industry is better or worse? As a job, it's a lot better, but as a lifestyle, it has really gone downhill. So the job aspects, pay, the cleanliness of truck stops and all that stuff, and how you're treated at your company has all, I think, gone up. But what has gone down is just a lifestyle. You don't really enjoy it as much as you used to. There's not a lot of pride in this job anymore, and to be honest, there's not a lot of pride in the public for us. So I'd say in the aggregate, it's about a wash. Where the trucking industry is better or worse, it's better in some ways and worse in some.